family visit to Iza. After months of promises and scheduled conflicts, Vina and I were finally on our way to visit our cousin Rico Torres at his palace at Iza. The city's main road was straight and possibly wide, a relic of Markian times when the city was a major trading center. We waited out the car window to the crowds of citizens lining up the road. Up ahead loomed the domed library of the university. I noticed most of the people who'd come out to see us were native Rizian, even on the street of the city's west quarter, can't even pronounce that. Mina suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. Father, look over there. In front of the university library, a construction crew was hastily pulling a sheet over a large object. Stop the car at once. I want to see what's under that sheet. Came to a halt. My guards exited the car and ordered the workers to remove the sheet. Beneath it was one attached to the commission of my father, King Valera. His head had been chopped off. How could Ruko have allowed this to happen? Like Duchess Zara said, he's in over his head. She unconsciously put a hand to her own neck. I think Rico wanted us to see this. He's trying to crack down on crime here, isn't he? What better excuse to sedition than the royal family? It's a good theory, Vina. You're as perceptive as your mother was. Or, if he can't keep vandals from defacing royal statues before the king's visit, he doesn't deserve respect. Or either way, this is a disgrace, or it must be brought to Iza one way or another, or this is bigger than Iza. The anti-monarchist foreign powers are out to get us. It's true. Vina, you have to understand. All this reform is going to destroy us. That's true, it wouldn't be just Hatchies losing their heads. He was meeting us too here, right? Why do you think they wanted to see her so badly? Probably the investigation I ordered, let's be honest. I can't even remember the last time Cousin Rico and I properly spoke. When we were children, maybe. We rode on until we reached Palas Sazon. Under Rico's stewardship, a formidable-looking iron gate had been constructed around the otherwise tranquil palace complex. His security led us through to the residence, a blindingly white building with flags of Rizia and House Torres hanging from every window. A pair of long-nosed Rizina hunting dogs raced towards us barking. Go away, I hate dogs. Easy there, puppy. Stay back, Vina. They might be dangerous. Or we can pet the doggies. I will pet the doggies. Yes. Bella, Bruno, sit. Both dogs promptly sat at attention, still as statues. I heard the sound of boots on tile as my cousin Rico approached. He was wearing an olive green tweed jacket and a flat cap. He must have been out hunting. He gave a quick bow of acknowledgement, then knelt and kissed Vina's hands. I was struck by his transformation from a gawky, insecure teen to a broad-shouldered, preternaturally confident young man. Welcome, my cousins. It had been far too long. Greetings, your grace, who it has been, Rico. You're looking sporty. I wish we were seeing each other under more pleasant circumstances. You could have warned us about the canine welcoming committee. Let's just say he looks sporty. You look very sporty. Did father not tell you? We were going hunting. We are going hunting, rather. Present tense. Wait, what? You appeared from behind his son, a sheepish look on his face. Your first hunt as a king. I wanted it to be a surprise. You know me too well. Let's go shoot something. I appreciate it, but I was hoping the Forest could have a serious conversation, or it's a poetic sport. Let's go shoot something. Come on. As His Majesty proclaims, so it shall be. I'm already equipped myself. Turned around and showed us the KA-74 semi-automatic rifle. Hugo turned up his nose disapprovingly. That is wild. What the hell? Why would you have a fucking semi-automatic rifle for like a hunt? You're like hunting deer and like you're in your classic like British style like fancy hunting gear or whatever, you know, out with your like shotgun or whatever, and he has a fucking KA-74. Isn't that cheating? Yeah, exactly. Boars are speedy bastards. You'd be surprised, your highness. He smiled rakishly at my daughter. We have outfits prepared for the two of you, and your choice of weapons, of course. Oh, you know what? Why not? Let's take the semi-auto. See, father, we'll have bagged a dozen boars before you've even finished loading. Why stop there? Why not hire an airplane and shoot them from the sky? What a splendid idea. Remind me to plan that for next time. I do wish I'd known about these plans. I've never so much held a gun before. Well, you should learn. Come on now, I'll teach you. It'll be great fun. Sanfina and I quickly refreshed ourselves and we changed into hunting garb that had been laid out for us. We stepped out to find two waiting jeeps. I'll ride with Duke Rico. Rico nodded and the aide held the door open and we hopped into the first car. East of the palace, The landscape quickly turned hilly and green. We were entering Brennus Forest Estate, private hunting ground reserved for nobility only. I turned away from the window to see Rico looking at me intently. You must already know what I'm about to say, Your Majesty. We were free to denounce Sue Omen in the face of pressure from Wayland. For that, they, are grateful. But then I got wind of your investigation. Tell me, cousin, do you really think I keep companies with terrorists? Don't forget who you're speaking to, Tortoise. Count yourself lucky I haven't ordered your arrest yet. That's extreme. I had no other choice. I was trying to avoid an actual incident. No, I don't. Assuming you were innocent, the investigation will clear your name. Tell me, Ricardus, do you have something to hide? It's going to clear your name, don't worry. Trust me, nobody I know has a clue who was behind the Zeal attack. A light smirk formed on his face. That's not good. I can't say I wasn't happy to see those Wezaks get what was coming to them. Haladia, if it's said, so it is. For heaven's sake, son, have some respect for the dead. What's coming to you if you carry on with that kind of talk? Or do you want me to completely leave you in Okay, let's just agree with the fascist for now. Famous last words. We were all thinking it. The point is that your investigation into us will turn up nothing about Wayland, at least. But if you want this mess to be cleaned up or Zeal to be returned, I think I can help you. How so? He cleared his throat. People in my organization are very loyal to me, Your Majesty, very loyal. If one or two of them would have confessed to the attack as a splinter cell, acting independently of both Suleiman and the Crown, it would solve both our problems. A bold suggestion. Would you expect anything less of the Duke of Rizia? It would be convenient to put this incident behind us as fast as possible, or just how loyal these stakeholders are you proposing? Would they crack under interrogation? Or in the fact that this would put a premature end to my investigation to Omina? And this is a little bonus for you, I presume. Or I appreciate the gesture, but I can't condone this. How loyal are they? Trust me, cousin, if it came down to that, I have the resources to make sure their loved ones are well cared for. This could go wrong real bad. Like, exceedingly bad, in fact. So we have the answer of no, or yes, but don't let anyone know. We're already, we're in too deep. We've broken bread with fascists. We have no choice. Very well, just don't let them know. Of course. Then we have an understanding. I'll make the arrangements as soon as we get back into the city. We drove on, the woods around us were growing dense. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up, your king? Now is the time. He eagerly turned back towards me. I'm sure you've kept abreast of my situation here, Your Majesty. The drugs, the violence, the open resistance against our government, the headless statues. You're not a child, Rico. Pull yourself together and become the leader this city needs. Doesn't seem that bad to me. It's concerning indeed. What can I do to help? I think he might need some tough love, but I don't want to piss him off, considering he just agreed to do some dirty work for us. It's concerning. What can I do to help? I'm glad you asked. Yes, of course. Rights to the association, we operate for a province. Using family connections to go overhead. You made a mistake. The risk cannot be counted on to help you. Peace here. Okay, so basically... yeah. See? We're tied. Never make alliances with these people. So you're using our family connections to go overhead? Well, yes. I don't see any other alternative. You understand the city is a bellwether for our house. If we lose it, we lose Rizia. I'll send you the position where you're both back home. I trust you to do what's best for our city. Pulled off the road and continued some distance on a dirt path that wound through the pines. Came to a halt at the mouth of a grassy clearing with the gently sloping sides. Hunting blinds lined its perimeter. It vaguely resembled a gigantic serving vessel. At last, enough politics talk. Yeah, if I give him that power, I suspect that Su Omina will cause a civil war or something like that over there, and if I don't, he'll probably kill me. Or release the information about what happened here today, which won't be good. Caught the scent already, my dears? Must be a dozen boys out there. So you see, Your Highness, knowing how to aim and fire the gun correctly is as useful as the royal skill of knowing how to hold a salad fork. Keep at it, Hugo. You make a huntress out of my daughter yet. With her instinct, she'll be the finest shot in this kingdom ever saw. Waved his son over. But I've borrowed you enough. Your Highness, I believe Rico is going to show you the ropes. I'll be delighted to if the king permits. Oh, this is like I'm shutting up my daughter with Rico? Oh, boy. Rico's kind of too gross for me. I will escort my daughter. He beckoned to Vina again. Very well, okay. You and my son may aim for quantity, but I know quality is key. He locked and loaded his own Dator rifle. Its stock had a gold embossed bull on it. We climbed up to the hunting blind opposite of Vina and Rico's position. And now we play the waiting game. There's a long stretch of silence punctuated only by the chirping of birds and the occasional bark of Bella and Bruno in the distance. I may not like Rico's hunting methods, but his dogs are second to none. We'll drive the boars out in no time. Why were you so keen that he and Vina go off together? Calmly adjusted his rifle's sight. My son and your daughter were to be married, they ought to spend more time together. Excuse me? Of course I had, but the two of them turned out as different as night and day. Shockingly enough, the thought ever crossed my mind. I might have your son if he was more of a gentleman. What? No, they're cousins. Let's pretend to be scandalized. Once removed. What are Her Highness's other options? A rival house? A foreign prince? Anyone of the Rico would dilute our family's blood and loosen our grip on the throne. Different point, but it's still Vina's decision. Family has been in power long enough. Oh, that's a ridiculous statement. Let's see how they get along today before we can start making waging arrangements. The royal alliance can make us more powerful than blood alone. The wrong ones will doom us to history's dustbin. That is true. As your uncle and your advisors, my advice should be followed or disregarded as you choose. Just then we heard a rustling sound coming from the woods. Belle and Bruno had found their quarry. A group of boars raced into the clearing, dogs nipping at their heels. Working in tandem, they forced their prey into the lowest part of the glade. Looking through my gun sight, I fixed my crosshairs in the group. Shoot a boar. Took aim and pulled the trigger. I struggled to keep the gun steady as it unleashed a round of bullets. The boars scattered and I heard a high-pitched yelp. Oh no! I shot his dog. He yelled Bruno, and he jumped down from his blind and raced to the clearing. The dog lay on its side, whimpering. Shit. Hugo, Vina, and I climbed down as Rico frantically ripped off a piece of his shirt and wrapped it tightly around Bruno's his leg. It's okay. He looked up at me with those feral eyes. What the hell, cousin? You shot my dog. It's not my fault. I was aiming for the boar. It's a scratch. He'll be okay. You can't hunt on 3 fucking legs. For God's sakes, Rico, shut your mouth. I need his apologies, Your Majesty. My son's not in his right mind. He bent down and stroked through his fur. The dog raised its head slightly and licked her hand. Please, Rico, it was an accident. Put her hand on Rico's shoulder. He forced himself to take a deep breath. Please use your outburst, Your Majesty. I understood you weren't aiming for Bruno. Oh, they fit. That's weird. Oh no, they fit. I don't like that. They fit too well. They're different, but the opposites attract. Oh, no. Boku is a hunting dog that can't hunt. He's still holding a gun. Put him under misery. I'll take him then. Wouldn't mind having a dog around the palace. Put him with a stud. Rico half smirked at me. A pure blood through and through, Your Majesty. Alright, I'll keep the poor fellow around. Rico, Vina, why don't you two take Bruno out back to the palace? His Majesty and I will wrap up everything here. My uncle gave me a meaningful glance. Oh boy, I am really doing it today. Fine, I'll accede and let the two talk more. I prefer him more than the reformer guy. Even, oh god, oh no. I mean, oh. Terrible situation. I accept your apology and this won't affect the agreement we made today. Good. They left and the car sped away. Hugo and I got in the other jeep and followed them back to the palace. What have I done? Rizia and Paris Businesswomen's Association highlights the gender pay gap. We'll visit the Scarlet King Burn Festival. And this one's the easier police transfer. Boy, what kind of news do we have here? You know, Cortana's SSS monitors geopolitical's Kyo office. I see, so the communists have been watching our newspaper. Not our newspaper, but a newspaper. Very well. We'll have to allow the police transfer, even though I know that's a bad idea. But we're so tied in with these guys so far, and if they overthrow us, they can't really do that. So we just have to rely and hope that it works out, basically. Very well, very well. Every spring, the seaside town of Salabe celebrated their Scarlet Kingbird Festival. The vibrantly colored songbirds spent their winter in Zina, near the southern part of where they used to be, of what used to be the Moser Empire. Every spring, like clockwork, they flew back over the Gulf of Moria to settle in Salabe. Salabe, I have no clue. I'm not going to read the name anymore. The return was celebrated with music, dancing, and lavish banquets, opened by a speech with the reigning duke. It was traditional for the king of Rizia and his family to attend. The sun hung low, I can't read today, in the sky over the arena. A 100-year-old open-air venue perched directly on the beach. V and I sat waiting, and the royal box's cameras flashed in our direction. My daughter impatiently tapped her fingers on the arm of her chair. We hadn't spoken much since Isa. I promise I won't try and shoot any of the birds. Don't worry, it'll start soon. Sit still, can't you see everyone's watching? Are you corresponding with Rico these days? A little bit. He says Bruno is running almost as fast as on 3 legs as he did on 4. That's nice. A fanfare sounded from the pit orchestra, and an announcer stepped out from behind the podium. This year, he said, the speech would be given not by the Duke of Salabe, but the heir of House Sazon. Man is Sazon. The son of a bitch. This one. The reformer. Greetings. He waited for the applause to subside, and then he pulled up a hand for the audience to listen. The entire arena fell silent. The story of the Starlit Kingbird is a story of trust. Every year, this tiny feathered creature travels thousands of kilometers to reach our shores. He doesn't know what perils await him on the way to his destination, nor what sort of welcome will await him here. There. And he flies on, because something deep within his soul compels him to do so. The inner voice that tells him, this is your home. It's so maudlin. Why is the crowd eating up? Is he talking about himself? Huh, the kid has charisma. He's talking about himself? Shh. Oh, now you're telling me to be quiet. Well. And what of those who await him? They have no idea where he's been, or how he knows that to navigate this exact same spot each time. Still, they gather here, scanning the skies for the first sign of his return. As if on cue, a solitary bird came flying towards us from over the horizon. Its plumage was a bright red. A tear rolled down his cheek. Trust. It's the only way any of this works. Even when we're given no reason. Even when our faith is tested. Over and over. A second bird followed, and then the third. It's only when we place our trust in one another that we are able to find our way. The audience gasped as the sky over our heads filled with hundreds and hundreds of kingbirds, their crimson feathers magnificently lit up by the setting sun. Keep your heads down, Vina. Too much trust will get in your face. Get you a face full of shit. Have you seen anything so beautiful? Timing your speech perfectly with migration? What a cheap trick. Giant flock of birds migrating from a distant land. Where have you seen this before? Trust will get your face full of shit. Don't be so crass, father. He sniffled. She had a tear in her eye as well. Oh my word. Once the sun had set and the birds had gone, the roost we made our way to the VIP reception in the neighboring pavilion. Big band was playing jazz music as Vina and I entered. We immediately found ourselves surrounded by local officials, celebrities, and members of the press. It was nearly an hour before I was able to sit down. Almost as soon as I parked myself in a chair, I noticed Bandit Sazon making his way over to me. Some speech today. I can see what the constituents love you. The seat is reserved for my daughter. Not in the mood to dance, Mr. Sazon. He smiled uncomfortably. I'm better off on the debate floor than the dance floor, Your Majesty. Actually, I've been hoping to speak with you for a long time. Why, what is it exactly that you want? To be perfectly honest, I've been avoiding you. Too much bad blood. So why didn't you request an audience with me? I'm sorry, I haven't visited the House of Delegates yet. It's been a busy time. Yeah, why didn't you request an audience with me? He looked up was equal parts hurt and puzzled. I did through your Grand Vizier. The message must have gotten lost. Oh. It's a shame. And since we're both here right now, Your Majesty, I know what you and your family think of me, and I know my position in government is symbolic at best. But I think we have a chance to accomplish great things for this country. Who's speaking to me right now? The heir of House Suzerain or the speaker of the Rizian People's Party? You have some nerve approaching me after what your father did. Let's just be honest. I expect you to forgive Lucas Suzerain. I haven't forgiven him myself. Okay. I used to hate him for robbing me of a birthright, and now I realize his real crime was robbing Rizia of the peaceful transition it deserved. The remaining Suzerains and I are in agreement. Our citizens need not shed blood to be granted a voice. The kind of change you're talking about doesn't happen peacefully. Look at how many corpses the century of resolutions left in its wake. People have a voice, that's what the House of Delegates for. Peaceful changes to what? The remaining Suzerains, including your mother. Managed to trace the rim of his wine glass with his finger. I've discussed this with her. We have plenty of time on the island, after all. Rizia already has the framework in place to become a true constitutional monarchy, a place where citizens have a greater say in the lawmaking process, but the royals keep their status and influence. I know I'm taking a risk by suggesting this to you, but I believe that unless a change is made, we may face another uprising. I'm sure that you're aware that by removing any of the monarch's power would invite the wrath of my relatives. Are you threatening me? Why? The people of Rizia have everything you want. If they want more, I'll give them more. A second uprising will not happen during my reign. It would invite the wrath of my relatives. I and the rest of the House Suzerains will provide you the protection you need. That is bullshit. Just so you know, you can choose to lead Rizia in whichever direction if you're prepared to back you. And if I don't? I appreciate the risk that you took in coming to me. Can't have been easy. Thank you for hearing me out. I'm not going to agree with the idea of forming Rizia. I'm looking forward to more working closely with your party to better serve our people, but changing the entire system of governments, we probably won't go that far. Or I understand what you're saying, but now is not the right time to start changing the status quo. Let's go for the middle option. Pretend we're working with him. We are a bit of a glad hander. Tentative smile appeared on Manus' face. I understand, Your Majesty. Of course, my party would be thrilled to have your ear. It'd be an honor to see you at the next House of Delegates session. I'll see what I can do. With a smile, he stood up and pushed back his chair. We don't want him, realizing that we're not going to do anything, because, a reformist who gets rejected becomes a revolutionary. So, let's, be careful here. Oh, Mr. Suzerain. Hope you're enjoying your time. Oh, boy. Oh, and she's trying to import migrants. That's nice. Do not trust my daughter with such impudence. He's right, we gotta take this problem at the root, not by granting special flavors. How drunk are you, Vina? You can't go around making promises to random cater waiters. Mr. Suzerain, but the princess and I must really be going. Your speech was beautiful, Mr. Suzerain. Actually reminded me of an essay from Queen Lizia's from 1883. On social contracts. Yes, that was one inspiration. What were the others? Tell me after this dance. No, people will gossip. She fixed me at an indignant stare. What guest here? Oh, there'll be other chances. Let's go. Jesus, for your sigh. I do apologize, Mr. Suzerain. It's been lovely to spend time in your family's province. Pleasure has been all mine. Took Vina's hand and pressed it to his lips. Until next time, Your Highness, Your Majesty. Damn it. No, it's not an acceptable match. Not at all. Not even slightly. Oh? Rizian Oil and Gas continues assessment of new gas fields. Okay, the cooperation with Paleogen scientists and the team of geologists will begin seismic surveys to determine the city's exact borders. It's expected that the survey will be complete within the next several months. Ooh, nice. So we'll have to deal with that soon, but still. It says on here a speech about trust, but can he be trusted? President Walker boosts welfare, faces economic challenge. Looks like President Walker is falling down. Very well. Calclantis pilgrims demand access to the Morella border. They want to enter for their sacred pilgrimage. No. Because you're already blocked from visiting the sites, so let's not. Well, condemns Rizia's border policy. Well, unfriendly, huh? Yeah, they're already very left-wing, so I'm not surprised about that at all, honestly. Meeting with a Rusty Montero. Well, look down, Rusty. On the banks of the Zapana River, probably Japana River, Bronaz stood at Palace Verdana. Almost opulent as my own palace, it once served as a summer residence for my ancestors, the Rubaz family. They still around? Not anymore. Today was home of Rosello Rusty Montoro, the CEO of Rizian Royal Gold and the wealthiest commoner in the country. Stepped out onto the deck of the Riziana. I guess it's my yacht. As the yacht approached the palace's private dock, Hugo and Alana were already there, gazing out at the grounds. Can't believe what I'm seeing. Palace Verona without its water garden is no palace at all. I think it's an improvement myself, but what do you make of this, Your Majesty? Look in the direction he was indicating. The water garden once a tranquil oasis filled with blossoming flowers and gently burbling fountains been replaced with a gigantic gold-tiled swimming pool. God, I hate new money. Ugh. I'd be surprised if Mr. Montoro even used it. Suddenly, a group of armed men exited the palace in single file. They positioned themselves at equal intervals around the dock. Followed us with their eyes as we disembarked and they walked into the palace. Who the hell are these people? He's wearing a badge that read Palantor Security Solutions. You're a Kazian? We'll bow before your king. Lowlife. Rusty rose from where he'd been sitting and rushed over to us. Antoine, there's no way to treat our royal visitors. The guy reluctantly bowed to me. Rusty ushered us past him and showed us to a set of chairs. Gold Magnet's red hair was streaked with grey, but his eyes had a youthful mischief about them. On behalf of all of us, the esteemed Rizia Royal Gold Corporation, I do hereby extend my cordial greetings. He trailed off with a grin. Heck, I was never one of the wonderful formalities. Welcome to my palace, Your Majesty. Thank you, Mr. Montoro. My name is Rusty. Calling me Mr. Montoro is like trying to put an elevator on an outhouse. Great. Your Grace, Madam Treasurer, haven't had a sit-down with you two since the last man wore a crown. My uncle gritted his teeth. You must be my honorable brother, His Majesty King Valero. May he rest in peace. Now, Hugo, Rusty paid his respects at the funeral like everyone else. He shook Rusty's hand. He beckoned for us to sit as butlers. His butlers brought over water and fresh fruit. So, how's business? We'll get to that, Your Majesty. Settle down and have a drink first. A shame is Her Highness couldn't make it. Has she finally found a beau back home in the capital? Well, thank you not speculate. You not to speculate about Princess Venus' romantic prospects. Well, right, Hugo. My daughter does happen to have an eye on someone special. Or, agreed, we're keeping the topic of my daughter's love within life with the family. Please tell me what this meeting is about, Rusty. We don't have all day. Well, alright. He sat back and unbuttoned his top button of his shirt. You know, there would be no Rizia without Rizian Royal Gold. I'd say the partnership between your company and the monarchy has benefited us both equally. Yes, our ROGs contributed greatly to Rizian wealth, and I don't overrate your importance. We have other resources. It's benefited us both equally. Sure, Your Majesty. The point being is it's fair to say that what concerns me is what concerns the country. And right now, what concerns me is this. He picked up a piece of paper from the table, and it was a flyer with a few sentences written both Rizia and Wezek. Supervisors at my mines are picking up hints that the workers are holding after our meetings on the subject of unsafe conditions. Unionizing, eh? Don't know if I go that far, but meeting workers' demands is like feeding zoo animals. When you give them, the hungrier they get. Have there been any accidents lately? Anything that might have triggered this? Rusty snorted. Accidents have been a part of the jobs at the dawn of time. You say you weren't a real miner until you were missing a finger. It's barbaric. We need all 10 of them for anyway. Did you ever work at a mine yourself, Rusty? We need all 10 of them for anyway. As long as you get enough to swing a pickaxe. He cleared his throat. You have a request for His Majesty, Mr. Mator, or you've merely invited us here to complain? Not to complain, warn. I'm not going to change a thing about the way mines operate. Sooner or later, they're going to land on your lap. RRG's value has been going down, so we lost zeal. New safety regulations may sound fine and dandy, but they're a death blow for our bottom line. We still have the trade zone. And your company will have a rebound when we get zeal back. I'm sure hope that's in cards, Your Majesty. That little dump of land is home to some of the fattest gold veins my country's ever found. No way whaling could mine it all in 25 years. Saying that RRG's mining operation in the region could pick up where they left off? Yes, ma'am. Would the regulations even apply to them? Yeah, because they're foreigners. They're fixing to have it that way, yes. Folks pushing the restrictions, I mean, the regulations are a mix of labor hands and honest-to-good Rizians. Support for the Suzerains to boot, of course. I see what they're going for, I really do, but giving them everything they want would damn near bankrupt me. A little extreme, don't you think? I agree that we shouldn't impose more regulations than necessary, but investing in a safer and healthier employees could be profit long term, foreigners included. We have the trade zone, don't we? Oh god, that's the other thing. I'm sure you all know about Alma Sultana. Yes. The communist. Right, Your Majesty. Banning propaganda in Rizia won't stop what's happening on her side of the border. One's never picked up a chisel in her life and suddenly knows how to run the MITZ. He's calling for regulation over there as well, or worse, nationalization. Well, doesn't have unilateral power over the international trade zone Rizia, Lesbia, and Valgsland, I'll have to say. And guess which one of those Miss Sultana has been hosing up to on the subject. If she and Hegel get their way, Rizia will either lose its mining rights, or our boys will have to pray for Malingyev before they go to work every morning. That leaves us in Lesbia. One can say our revenue from the region takes a hit no matter what. And the CSP will claim another victory. The political aspect isn't as concerning as me as the loss of the Axe's most important mines. We have to keep a close eye on this. How much revenue would we stand to lose? Hard to say, implementing the regulations themselves will cost a pretty penny. What do you think happens after we pass this cost on to our trading partners? They hit the road faster than my first ex-wife. She raised her eyebrows. We haven't seen more global competition in the gold market, unfortunately. But for now, our product is of high enough quality that Rumberg is willing to pay more for it. As for the price rises further still. I'd rather not admit it, but Mr. Mator may have a point. Rusty took a big bite out of a watermelon slice. He wiped the juice off his chin. Look, you know me. I don't mince words. I think you already realize that it's in both our interests for you to back me up on this squabble. But hey, I'll sweeten the deal. Keep your administration's nose out of RRG's business and I'll sell you back the shares I took from your father. She pushed her chair back and stood up. I'm going to recuse myself from the conversation. Where's the ladies' room? Just inside. If you ever never sat in the gold toilet, you're in for a treat. Great. She forced a smile at the butler and escorted her out. So, it seems like RRG is in trouble anyway, and push her, you could sell it off. Gold is gold. As long as you let us keep doing things this way, we already have, well, there'll be plenty more money left to be made. My father may have tolerated your impudence, but I will not. Give me one reason why I shouldn't have you beheaded. It's extreme. And why did you sell off some of Rizia's stake in RRG? I suppose you should grant me that as well. More gold revenue for our kingdom is tempting, but not if it comes at the expense of workers' lives. You remain after my own heart, Rusty. I think we're going to work very well together. I wish the technology wasn't outside of Rizia, because if it wasn't around there, I'd chop this guy's head off. I'll pretend to like him. Sure hope so, Your Majesty. I won't keep wasting your time. Do you have a deal or don't we? Accept bribe. I'll accept and let you know your relations pass the mine. You know the kingdom altar at stake in the RRG. Very well, we accepted the bribe. A lot of bribery. It's been a light, truly, but we must head back to Fortress on. Please, excuse my uncle's hastiness. Don't worry, he'll be healing from me. Not if you hear from me first, Your Majesty. See ya, Rusty. Ah, they're hostile to us now. We'll visit the Monteclar, huh? Let's see, Edmarg signals joining non-aligned movement. Oh. Interesting. Oh, very well. Gasfield and Western contain secretly massive new reserves, according to the geologist source. Interviewed by Geopolitical, the Kingdom of Rizia and Dutch Pale is still surveying the borders, the field. Those are ownership is yet to be determined. However, all signs point to a resource of great strategic influence, great strategic significance. The international community has its eye on this developing situation. Well, we'll have to see what happens. Let's visit Monteclar. From anywhere in the city of Monteclar, you could look high into the hills and see the ruins of Fortress Azaro. Expanded and fortified over the centuries, it served as a stronghold of the city's inhabitants from the early years of the Resident Empire until the disruption of the war that resumed succession. Today, the ruins serve as a symbol of Monteclar's resilience and that of its governing house. Perhaps that was why Lucia invited me here for a tour and a private talk. For safety's sake, a wooden walkway was constructed over the crumbling remnants of its parapets. Lucida and I walked along until we came to the northwestern corner. How do you like the views, Your Majesty? From here we can look down into the valley where the provincial capital sprawled among the fast-flowing Alcott River and up into the foothills of the mountains opposite of us. It's fine, I always put the oceans over mountains myself. Spectacular, why did you bring me here? Imagine how this fortress must have looked 1,000 years ago. Incredible, isn't it? The fortress was closed off for a visit, but a crowd had gathered just outside its walls. We waved down to them, then turned away, following the walkway towards the former armory. Our aides and guards stayed a respectable distance behind. Not even the Markians could destroy this place, you know. Only when Rizia's noble families turned against each other did it finally fall. He paused and turned to face me. It took years for the Azaro and Torres families to repair their bond. I hope our houses will remain harmonious through your reign. As long as you keep your family in line, they will. I don't see why that wouldn't be the case. You and your relatives have sworn fealty to the crown, have they not? Is that why you brought me here, Dutch Zaro? Nothing means more than giving the face of your house to Zaro. Well, you sworn fealty. Of course, but, well, your father and mine were close, Your Majesty. General Tadius taught me that he felt free to express his true opinions with the king, with no fear of repercussion. I'd like it if you and I had a similar relationship. I want to have that relationship with all my counselors, Duchess. Nobody should feel like they have to hold back their opinions. Or, what makes you think you deserve that? Or how can you say that when we barely know each other? Let's get to know each other better? A fair point, Your Majesty. You trained your eyes on a lizard that was crawling up the wall next to us. If you have my permission then, ask me anything about myself. Well, why aren't you married? As a Azaro, you should have been paired off the day you came of age. She grimaced. They didn't match chosen for me, of course, but my father allowed me to break off the engagement when I joined the military. By the time I got out, I was considered too old to be of use in the marriage arena. That's ridiculous. A woman like you should be sworn with suitors. So you're different from the touch of a man? You're what, 28? That's ancient for a woman. Ooh. Who's going to carry on the Azaro legacy then? A woman like you should be sworn with suitors. If I can get her to be my lover, then she won't overthrow me. That's my logic, at least. A wry smile formed on her face. I'm not so pathetic as to base my self-worth on what men think of me, but thank you for the compliment. Do you have any questions of a less intimate nature? Could have chosen your own path in life, why didn't you? My path was chosen for me after my uncle was killed in the uprising. Even as a young girl, I knew that marked the turning point. My noble blood didn't make me safe anymore. It's from the real threat isn't from the commoners, it's from the foreign powers who want to destroy our way of life. Your words were true. The exact same thought after my kidnapping. That was the purpose of the uprising. True as the blood does make us special. If these days are over, we don't have to live fear of another uprising. I like 2 and 3. The real threat isn't the commoners, the foreign powers who want to destroy our way of life. Or your words were true. I had the exact same thought after my kidnapping. Let's try and find some similarity. And you didn't feel the drive to do something about it? To armor yourself against such threats in the future? I joined the military so you never caught a surprise like that again. Let's see, do you have any hobbies? Let's talk the small talk. Let's ask about hobbies. We enjoy archery when I had the time for it. My father used to play chess together. Who wins? I do mostly. Okay. What do you want to talk about? She looked at me with flinty eyes. I don't know what that means. That's so surprising. Everyone wants something from the King of Rizia. All I am requesting is a chance to speak with you without the stultifying formality of the council. It's a hell of a word. Never seen that word before. That's reasonable enough. Go ahead. Well, Your Majesty, I didn't agree with your decision to supersede my authority and transfer the central police forces to the Duke of Rizia, especially when he's the subject of an investigation that, again, was commissioned without the involvement of my department. You don't understand. Is he as at a tipping point of the country's fate? You could determine that of the country. Your family comes first, Duchess. You have to respect that, or what are you worried will happen? Let's go with that one. I think you realize that putting more power in the husband's hands is a dangerous example. The balance between provinces is fragile enough. What will happen if other leaders start demanding similar degrees of autonomy? If you present a good case of it, I don't see anything wrong with the idea. They know what's best for the regions, don't they? Is it a special circumstance? Suppose you prefer Rizia's provincial police was all centralized as well, or I see that maybe they should take back the decision. I believe I already did centralize the police, though. If they can rent a good place for it, I don't see why not. National security takes a coordinated effort, Your Majesty. Each of the provinces must be answerable to someone. What's done has been done, but I hope you consult with me on these matters going forward. Speaking of provincial activities, my house and I have some questions regarding your meeting with Sayabe. So just say we keep conversation with the House of Suzerain air. It's all strategic. Without the Suzerains on my side, I won't be able to prevent another uprising. We're speaking of repairing the bond between our houses. As you yourself said, Rizia can only be strong if all the royal families stand together, or we would guess the province. Let's just brush that aside. As terrible as what his family did to you, the entire house is still suspected of ties to Arcasia. Better Arcasia than you and Cortana. That isn't surprising. Arcasia has his ties and ears everywhere. I don't know about Manus. He seems different. Yeah, they have their eyes and ears everywhere. Damn foreigners. Even the allies have spent the better part of a century trying to undermine us. I appreciate your concern, but I will deal with Mr. Suzerain and my family alone. Thank you for your advice. Perhaps I require your assistance with this in the future. Let's give her a little bit of leeway, give her some responsibility, and see what she does with it. I'm just looking out for national security, as is my job. We come to a small grassy patch in the shade of the fortress's southern wall. She gestured to me for to sit down. I had one more thing I wanted to bring up while we were here alone. I took over my father's position in the Royal Council and gave me a trove of his old files. Which between standard purchase orders and internal security reports, I found this. He reached into a pocket and unfolded a thin square of paper. On it was a map of Pales. Outlining the Grand Duchy were arrows, diagrams of tanks and battalions, and hastily scribbled instructions. Some of them were in my father's handwriting. With a date, 1949. So they were plotting another attempt on Pales. Paliz? That's not surprising. That's complete gibberish to me. Pathetic. Intriguing. Why did my father tell me about this? Why didn't he tell me about that? Still a work in progress when he died, I assume. His plan would have ended in a complete rout, at least with the military at the time. On the way to King Valero, but perhaps it's fortunate that he died before they could be carried out. Pains me to say so, but yeah, it's better they died rather than order more soldiers to the deaths, or maybe they intended to carry it out. Maybe he wanted me to do it. She frowned. The plan was scrapped when they realized it would never work. His dying wish was for me to conquer the lands that were lost. I'm no conqueror. I don't understand why this even exists, though. Why did Rizia need to reconquer? Well, okay, that's not a question. Timing wasn't right to reconquer Pales in the 20s, but perhaps now. I'm not sure if our military is ever going to be strong enough to defeat these guys, honestly. I'm no conqueror. It's an outdated concept, invading territories based on centuries-old grudges. Of course, my family would disagree. My province never got lost over losing its access to the sea. But I don't see your merit for taking back Pales, at least not for historical reasons. I'm glad you're the one that wound up on my council, not your hardcore father. You're saying that there are other reasons I trust your guidance, Duchess. You think we should go to war with Pales again? I want to know. You're lying. You're thirsty to revenge for the rest of your family. Reason you think we should go to war with Pales again? Pales again? She looked away. I don't want to sound paranoid. But with Lesbia and the ATO and Morella becoming close to the Valgos lands and the CSB, I do wonder whether our neighbor will get swallowed up in the superpower conflict. I'm not sure what you're getting at. What happened to Whalen in the 1930s? Cassie united Cortana newly destroyed it by proxy and Ross to gain access to his oil. And now Pales may be sitting on an even more valuable resource. It is true. Lesbia's involvement in Pales is clear, but we haven't seen any signs the CSP has designs on it. So you think we should conquer it for our own good? It's not Pales' resources, it's ours. So how does it involve Rizia? You have Security Council? I don't want to... I don't think so. What? That is not their resources, it's ours. That's our oil. At least part of it belongs to them. The researchers determined that much. Think of it as a chess game. Sometimes it's best to remove certain pieces from the board before it's too late. Doesn't mean I think we should attack Pales again, but using diplomacy to get them aside will be more of an effective tactic. I disagree, giving me one more reason we're taking the best course of action. My war council is urging me to practice diplomacy. Now I've heard everything. And diplomatic attempts will only get us so far. Yeah, now I've really heard everything. War should be last resort, Your Majesty, contrary to what you or my father would say about that. If you wanted me to, we could send a task force there to monitor the situation more closely. You take a small amount of funding. That sounds wise. Do what you need to do. I'll make sure you get what you help you need, the extra funds. Do what you need to do. Very well. Thank you for showing me this, but I must assist you bring up such meetings in the council. Throw the map away. May keep the map. I don't see why not. I will finish what my father started. If you insist on taking that path, you'll have my family's 80s wheels of mine. And speaking of the military, nearly 4. Let me show you something. Just shoot a stone wall behind us, a metal ladder. At the top of a small watchtower. Now the fortress's highest surviving structure. You scale it in a matter of seconds. I would follow you, but my bum leg won't allow it. Afraid I forgot about that, Your Majesty. You always seem so limber. You're familiar with the site anyway. Camp Domus is just downhill from here. He was right. I remember exactly how the camp looked. From when I knew there was a 10-man square, I heard the sound of a snare drum beating out a complex rhythm, followed by the boots hitting the ground in unison. The drum beat dictated a platoon formation. It was a system from the ancient days, modernized by her ancestor, Domus Lazaro. Long, short, long. Long, short, short, long. That's inverted wedge, right? Can't believe they're still using that system. Comms can get jammed. Comms can get jammed, autos miscommunicated, but rhythm, you feel that in your bones. Another rhythm came from the drum, 2 rim shots followed by rapid roll. Extended line spreading out to the herringbone. The herringbone. Almost unconsciously, he started moving along with the soldiers. But as he put a left foot down, the section of the wall beneath it suddenly gave away. He began falling backwards towards me. Catch her. I tried to break her fall. She laid in my arms and my weak leg buckled underneath me. I hit the ground with her on top of me. Oh my, what is this, an anime? Look it up. We stayed in that position for a few long seconds. Her eyes softened as they met mine. Nice catch, Your Majesty. Suddenly we heard the click of a camera. Shit. Her head disappeared back of the wall. Bushwick quickly brushed herself off and turned to the guards surrounding us. I'm fine, we're both fine, but who the hell let that happen? You find the photographer and prevent the publication of the picture at all costs. But yes, I don't want the photograph getting out. You heard her, I'm embarrassed. It is obvious security lapse. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Discard that order, gentlemen. Let the papers do what they will. No, you should be ashamed of yourself, gentlemen. To be continued, Duchess Cesaro. Give me a cold smile. I hope so, Your Majesty. I'm still on his face. We left the fortress. Well. Situation updated. Adequate foreign intelligence. Ah, good. Bloomberg average energy exports. Very good. What's this? Oh, this is the area that they're locked up on. A gas field survey reaches completion. Good.